You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. What it do? What it do? Y'all know what time it is, man. The doctor's in the house. Let me get my stuff together now. Give me a second. Let me fix the YouTube sub count looking all cracky. On crack. Get right, man. Good, great, grand afternoon to y'all, man. Good, great, grand noon after y'all. Good, great, grand noon afternoon to all of y'all, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Don't forget to smack that like button before we get started. Yes, sir. Yes, B-Dog, we have some big news in regards to Zepeda. You know, his nickname is El Camarón. But I think his nickname should be La Putita now. Those of my non-Spanish speakers out there, that means little bitch. El Camarón means shrimp. Yes. La Putita means little bitch. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. We in the building, man. Shout out to my boy B-Dog. Let's hit this roll call for my boy B-Dog in the building. Yes, sir, man. So, yes, before we get started, though, we have a lot of boxing things, but you know we always got to start off the stream with a prayer, man. So please join me in bowing your heads. Excuse me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you, Lord, for this wonderful day, Lord, this wonderful beginning to our new week this Sunday, Lord, and please let it be a day of thanks, a day of reflection, and also a day of acknowledgement to not only relish this opportunity to live our life in a correct manner, in a meaningful manner, in a proper manner, but also to as a reminder that, you know, not to be so hard on ourselves when it comes to our past transgressions and sins, because you know that we're sinful, and every day that you give us to start anew, it's another reminder that you're forgiving us for our sins that we've had, Lord. But it's all on us to do better. So please let us approach this day and this week with a thankful spirit, a grateful heart, and a joyful demeanor, Lord, and just be thankful for everything that you've done, no matter what we're going through. You know, we gotta thank you for the strength and the courage and ability to have faith that we're making through this period, because we made it through all the periods before that were difficult. So we thank you, Lord. We ask for more blessing selfishly, and we ask for wellness and prosperity from a spiritual level, emotional level, financial level, and a physical level, Lord, and everywhere in between. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. So yes, we got some things to talk about today, man. But before we get to the Zepeda stuff, man, because I'm gonna get intense about that. You know, I want to talk about something a little bit more, you know, whimsical. So I was watching we have some other news in the boxing world as well, in regards to Liam Paro and Richard Hitchens, man. I watched the build up in the face off, right, and it was good, man. I mean, it was nothing really too eventful, but it was pretty decent, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't, you know, I thought those were pretty respectful, and of course this thing wants to start over. I thought it was pretty respectful, but the part that I took away from it was this. I want y'all to see this, bro. Hold on. I gotta get to the part, man.
What did you think?
It messed up, man. I had it saved. Wow, it just messed up on me, chat.
I don't know. Like I said, I haven't ever been down. Well, I don't know in what world. Yeah, so I want to see where you're going at. They all said, it don't matter. My jaw was strong.
Okay, here go right here. They tried to mess me up, chat. Yo, shout out to Karma in the building. Always show me love, man. Dr. Karma Serene, man. She's such an awesome person. I rock with Dr. Karma. Showing some love in the chat, man. Dropping that graffiti on the chat walls with the big orange saying, amen, happy Sunday, everyone. Amen, amen. Happy Sunday to you too, Karma. I wish you the best, nothing but the best. Such a lovely person right there, man. Shout out to my dog, Karma. She tried not to be, but she is dope, man. She tried not to be lovely, but she be trying to be petty. But I know deep down somewhere below all that scar tissue with some love and a big heart, man. Shout out to Karma. You know what I'm saying? Dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
Yes, sir, man. Showing some love, man. One time for the ladies. Big dub, too. You know what that means? She coming through like a boss, like heifer in the building. That's a big dub for the love. Thank you so much, Karma. I appreciate that, Dr. Karma. So check this out, man. So I want to show you this about the Paro and Hitchison. Like I said, it was a pretty good JC in the building. It was a pretty good face off. Like I said, nothing was too crazy. You know, for those people that didn't know this, you know, Alamo, who Paro and Hitchens, they share a common opponent. You know, their commonality is Alamo, right? I don't remember his first name, but he dropped Liam Paro. A lot of people don't know that. So a lot of people learned that for the first time. But, you know, it was just friendly banter, man. They even gave each other compliments, you know what I'm saying, throughout. But this part stood out to me. And I know I'm childish, bro. I'm a big ass kid, bro. But this is the part that stood out to me, Chad, the face off right here.
You say stay in the middle, right? It don't matter. My jaw was strong 4 years ago, and it's strong right now. You look at your
Wait, what?
I'm gonna tell you is this.
Yo, what?
Now. They all said, you say stay in the middle, right? It don't matter. My jaw was strong 4 years ago, and it's strong right now. And it's strong 4 years ago, and it's strong right now.
My jaw was strong 4 years ago.
My jaw was strong 4 years ago, and it's strong right now.
I don't know why when he said that, I immediately just thought,
No, did he?
because I'm a big kid. But it was pretty funny though, bro. I just thought that was funny. But it was a pretty good face off, man. Shout out to Parl, shout out to Richard Hitchens. They both gave each other compliments, but there was some trash talk or friendly banter in between. I think Parl had some good points in regards to Richard Hitchens not looking the best against Lemos, but Richard Hitchens had a great rebuttal saying that, hey man, you know, who did you think I lost? And I don't think anybody with the right mind is not hating. thinks that Richard Hitchens lost. I mean, it was a close fight that had a clear victor, and I thought Richard Hitchens boxed well, but could he have looked more impressive? Yeah, but then he's also saying that, hey, it's because of the IBF rehydration clause. And I'll be honest, man, I don't really like that excuse because you're in that sanctioned body. I mean, go the WBC route, go the WBO or WBA route. You know, once you're there, then don't complain about it. You know what I'm saying? But he did, you know, but it wasn't controversial. I don't think it was controversial, you know, and he won unanimously. Meanwhile, in Paro's fight, he won a split decision in the one he got dropped on. So Richard Hitchens was like, okay, you're saying my fight was controversial, but all three judges went in my favor. He said, what about your fight? You know, you had a split decision victory and you got dropped. So, you know, your fight was controversial. It makes more sense. But I will say what Liam Paro does have with Richard Hitchens. He said, hey, you know, because Richard Hitchens tried to diminish his win over Subra Matias. And I don't think you do that because Subra Matias, whether it was right or wrong, whether he earned it or not, he was still known as the boogeyman in the 140-pound division. But, you know, we called that Liam Paro would beat him, and Liam Paro proved this to be right. So we actually called that fight, and Liam Paro did come up with the upset. But Richard Hitchens was like, yeah, you just outboxed him. He said you did what you were supposed to do. That was nothing spectacular of what you did. He was kind of like, just kind of, not discrediting him, but just saying that people are over exaggerating how impressive his win was. And I don't agree with that because Liam Paro had a good rebuttal as well. So they had some good back and forth. Like some had some good rebuttals, some had some. They both had good rebuttals, right? And Liam Paro was like, okay, why didn't you use your mandatory and fight him then? That was a good point. You know, he's like, why you use your mandatory and fight him then? And Richard Hitchens said, I never turned down Subra Matias. I just didn't get a contract, blah, blah, blah. You know how they say. But I personally believe that Subra Matias, I'm not saying that Richard Hitchens was scared. I said this before too, but I don't think that he was too excited to fight him. But he did say, I'll fight him in 1 or 2 fights. He did say that after he beat Gustavo Lemos, and I actually made a video about it a little while ago. So I'm not gonna say he was scared, but I do think that Liam Paro did him a favor by taking out Subra Matias because I think stylistically Liam Paro is an easier matchup for Richard Hitchens than Subra Matias. Although from my personal standpoint where I'm sitting, I'm a Liam Paro dude, so I've been I think, and not only that, you know me, I'm pretty objective, at least I try to be, and I like Richard Hitchens too, but right now as I'm sitting today, as it sits today, I will lean towards Liam Paro like 60-40, but I think it's like a 50-50 fight, but I will lean towards Liam Paro like 60-40. I think Richard Hitchens can win. I can see a path of victory for him to box his head off and stuff like that. But Liam Paro's not a slouch either. So, you know, he does know how to apply pressure. He is pretty strong, you know, and he can box as well, you know. So, and but also Liam Paro's, Richard Hitchens in defense, I don't think Hitchens is as pillow fisted as people think, you know. Gustavo Lemos was coming in there recklessly like he did against Keyshawn. Hitchens didn't make him pay like Keyshawn did. But Richard Hitchens was still able to keep him at bay with the jab for the most part, you know, except for when he was put on the ropes. He did take a big hit later on. I can't remember exactly what round, so don't quote me, but it was later on in the fight. And I thought Richard Hitchens did enough to win, man. I thought it was a close fight that Richard Hitchens did enough to win the majority of the rounds. I think I had it, if I remember right, I think I had it 8-4 or 7-5. No, I don't think I had it 7-5. I think I had like 8-4 or 9-3 for Hitchens. I don't remember exactly how I scored it, but it was either 8-4 or could have been 7-5. I think I had an 8-4 for Hitchens, man. But we can move on from that. But I just thought that joke was funny, man. Talking about his jaw been strong for 4 years and it's strong now. It sure had me crying. I'm a big kid, man. And then here we go, man. We have some news from Errol Spence, man. The big fish. It was always good to see Errol Spence back at it, man. You know, Errol Spence is one of my favorite fighters. A lot of people don't know that because I also like Terrence Crawford because, you know, some people feel like they feel compelled to when two fighters fight, they have to like one and be anti the other one, pro one and anti the other one. I like Terrence Crawford going into the fight, and I like Errol Spence going into the fight. I slightly liked Errol Spence more, but I thought it was a close fight. I thought it was one of the best fights on paper that we've seen in a long time. One of the most competitive fights. Of course, it didn't end up like that. Of course, you know, Bud put on a one-sided demolition. But I've always been excited to see Errol Spence back. I don't know if he can bounce back. I'm for one I've always said that I thought he should have retired after the car crash. I said that when he beat Ugas. I said that when he beat Danny Garcia. I say that before he lost to Terrence Crawford, and I'll say after. I think he should. Not because he can't compete, just because I don't know if he can ever be the same Spence that we know. But, you know, like I said, you know, obviously him being in the car crash was still good enough to beat a champion in Danny Swift Garcia. Still good enough to beat a champion coming off a legendary win or a spectacular win over a legendary fighter, Manny Pacquiao, when he beat Yordenis Ugas. You know, because remember he just beat Pacquiao because I was supposed to beat Errol Spence and Pacquiao before he got in that car accident where then Yordenis Ugas replaced him. But yeah, Yordenis Ugas came out with that great victory off of the legendary Manny Pacquiao. And Errol Spence beat him, and I still thought he didn't look good. But he is supposed to be fighting Sebastian Fedor, and I think if anybody can bounce back, it's Errol Spence. He only has 1 loss. I still think he's a pound-for-pound fighter, potentially. I just don't know if he has anymore. But, yeah, so check this out. Those of you that missed it, man. We have Errol Spence, you know, showing that he was working out and stuff. You see he got the wicks. You know what I'm talking about? He got the dreadlock popping. You know what I'm talking about?
Say, man, we working, man.
Him and Frank Martin.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't wake me up for bro. Nah, bro. Hey.
Got the ghost out there.
Not bringing your running shoes. It's like going on a dinner date and not bringing your wallet, man. God damn, man. We wet, man. We wet up, man.
He said we wet, man. Pause, man. What's up with all these pauses, man? He said we wet, but he wet from sweating. So it's good to see. He look like he's in good shape. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see him return. He's going to be going against Sebastian Fedor if everything still goes according to plan. And I'm looking forward to seeing it, man. I think that this will be a big answer. Answer a lot of questions. Not only is it a dangerous fight, though, but you know, Errol Spence. People who don't like fighters going for tune-ups. You should like Errol Spence because Errol Spence, he made no tune-ups infamous. You know what I'm saying? He famously, I should say, has no tune-ups. Him and Jermaine Taylor, Bad Intentions Taylor, they don't take no tune-ups. I think this would be a perfect time to have a tune-up, though. You coming off your first loss. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's his first time getting dropped, too, against Terrence Crawford. And you coming off a long sabbatical, I think it would behoove him to get a tune-up. But my boy said, I'm not playing with this boxing thing. I want championships. You know what I'm saying? Championships or nothing. So he's going to get Sebastian Fedor. We'll see if it ever comes back. But it's good to see him in shape. What up, my boy Ty in the building? It's good to see him in shape. Him and Frank the Ghost Martin, you know what I'm saying? It's good to see him back as well. He's another one who only had 1 loss. So no shame in his loss to Gervonta Tank Davis. Ain't no shame in that. So I look forward to seeing both bounce back, man. I'm thinking Frank Martin going to come back at 140. And we're going to see Errol Spence come back at 154. So they'll both be moving up. And Errol Spence, you know, I think it would be better for him because it was well documented. Not to give him any excuse. There's no excuses. Because Terrence Crawford, I don't care what weight class they fight. Terrence Crawford probably just has his number. But I do think he probably would have been better off. He would have been better off. I think he still would have lost. But he'd have been better off at 154 because it was documented that, you know, he was struggling to make it weight for a while. He was just a man of his word and said, hey, you know, before I go to 154, before I move up, I'm gonna fight Terrence Crawford. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. And on a lighter note, man, before we get to the Shakur stuff, man, because that's all I want to say right there in regards to that. I did want to talk about this, man. Y'all know I be watching the WNBA, man. One time for the ladies. I know. Shout out to Carmen here. I threw it one time for the ladies up for her earlier, but one time for the ladies again. It's so funny because people be talking about, oh, when I watch WNBA, right? When I watch it on stream and stuff like that, I told people I watch WNBA. I'm talking about in the stream. There's just one guy. I can't remember his name right now, man. He don't come to the stream often, but he was on my head top talking about Breonna Stewart is so bad because Stewie, she don't miss layups. I mean, she misses layups, and you know WNBA they only miss layups. That's why they always miss layups. That's why we don't watch it because all they do is miss layups, and you know Angel Reese and Breonna Stewart, and they miss layups in the clutch. I said, bro, my rebuttal is I asked him. I said, so NBA players don't miss layups? They'd be like, no, man, they don't miss wide open layups. Okay, well, shout out to Ben Simmons, man. This just happened, I think, yesterday. They're so close, bro. Why they so disrespectful, man? Why they so disrespectful, man? And the commentator gonna talk about so close. I thought he retired. I think he should have, Carl. I ain't gonna lie. We should have wrote a letter to persuade him to submit his papers for resignation and retirement because that's. But this is what. But my point is though. I know people say, "Oh, it's Ben Simmons." Well, Ben Simmons. A lot of us wish. I ain't gonna say be as good as Ben Simmons because he's bad, but he's good enough to fool people into $1 million contracts. You know what I'm saying? I wish. A lot of us should wish. I wish that I was as good at my job to warrant me $1 million contract, even if it comes with $1 million worth of criticism. He's still getting paid hefty, a lucrative amount. You know what I'm saying? A large lump sum of money to go stink up the joint. You know, so he fooled a lot of people, man. So a lot. Where are these gosh dang foolish employers in the engineering sector? You know what I'm saying? I need to fool them, and I got a PhD. Like, come on, man. I at least get me 200 stacks. You know what I'm saying? Annually, if Ben Simmons out there doing that. But the point is, though, Ben Simmons not the only one But Ben Simmons is going to be highlighted and magnified because every time he messes up, we're going to remember that we compared him to LeBron James because of his body type and his physique and the way that he was a point forward in college, right? At LSU, I believe, right? Don't quote me. I don't watch collegiate basketball. Like, yeah, it was LSU. But the thing is, like, we put all these expectations on these players and fighters too and stuff like that. Like calling him the next LeBron James, the other person we call him the next Gervonta. I have like 2 or 3 people we have. They call the next Gervonta. Another people. Every Mexican fighter that's a star, they try to call him the next Canelo. Like, and when they mess up, it's like we kind of shit on him or whatever. And I think that, I mean, he deserves it because that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? I would have made that. Be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't get to the collegiate. I only played basketball high school level. So, but it's just that at the same time too, we gotta chill out all these expectations because it's more than just having the same physique. It's more than having the same physical attributes. You also got to have the heart, and you also got to have the mind and the determination, the will, and the faith. You know, most importantly, the faith. But also, you have to have there's other things that are intangible. There's other intangibles and other things that aren't measurable. You know what I'm saying? Aren't quantified. Like, even at the beginning of my stream, right? At the beginning, on the intro, it says you could clock the speed of a cheetah. You could measure the weight of the size of you could measure the size of an elephant, you could clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a lion. Like there's even like they say it's not the fight of the dog, it's a dog, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Like little stuff like that. It's real though. You can't measure these things. Like, so Ben Simmons, like LeBron is not the first person with that physique that was in the NBA. He's just a person with that first person with that physique to go to the lengths the way he did. And same with Floyd Mayweather. There was nothing that was exponentially superb about his physical characteristics. It's just that he had other things, you know what I'm saying? Same with Canelo. There's nothing, you know, I will say Canelo got a durable chin, probably one of the most durable boxers ever. You know, Floyd got quick reflexes and stuff like that. But, you know, Zab Judah, they said Zab Judah had faster hands. Amir Khan had faster hands. And I don't know, like there's athletic people all over the place. So, you know, just doesn't mean it's going to translate to greatness. It's other stuff. But yeah, but I just want to show that to people when they say NBA players don't miss layups. And the reason why they don't watch WNBA, because WNBA players, they miss wide open layups. I'm telling you, if you watch enough basketball, you'll see that. No disrespect to Ben Simmons. I know I'm highlighting him right now, but you would see that, I would say, at least once a week. If you watch enough, freak that. You'll see that at least once every 5 games, probably. If you watch enough basketball, you just don't watch basketball, bro. You try to just shit on the women because it's easier to say, oh, the women don't do this, they don't dunk, they don't make layups, they don't, you know, people aren't going to challenge you, but I'm gonna challenge you because I watch them both. Yeah, exactly. Casemiro, John Rio Casemiro. Yeah, exactly. Isla. They try to say John Rio Casemiro, who I like. I like Casemiro, but he's not Pacquiao just because they're both from the Philippines, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like, who's the other guy they try to say, oh, he's the next Mexican star? Isaac Pitbull Cruz didn't even beat Tank. He just didn't get knocked out. Oh, he's the next biggest star, Mexican star after Canelo. No, he's not, bro. Like, Canelo's special, Pacquiao special, Floyd is special. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with Devin Haney trying to call himself the next Floyd or emulate Floyd and stuff like that. No, bro. Just be the best Devin Haney. Be the best Pitbull. It's not their fault either. Well, Devin Haney kind of, because he kind of puts that upon himself when he talks the way him and Bill Haney always talk about the Mayweather era's over. Like, yeah, it's been over because he's been retired, but you keep reminding us like you're trying to replace him. But yeah, it's just but some people, like, it's not Isaac Pitbull Cruz that people said that it's fault that they said that. It's not Ben Simmons' fault that they said that, you know. But at the same time too, if you embrace it, then it's kind of like you got to live up to that, man. Czar in the building. What's good, bro? He said wasted talent is Ben Simmons. I ain't gonna say wasted. Like I said, bro, it's tough to get. He's in the NBA, man. Like, I think sometimes we kind of, I don't know, man. It's like the internet, bro. And I like to use myself as an example. I'm not saying that I'm as great as these great players or people, but I'm just saying, like, just to make something I could just give you an example. It's like, because I have a PhD and I am a doctor, it's like people will say unnecessary things to challenge that, and they probably don't even have a high school diploma. You know what I'm saying? So like for example, like if I just do like quick math real quick off the top of my head, right? And it could be some, I don't know, some numbers, and I mess around and I get it wrong off the top of my head, and then someone goes punches on the calculator and I can't see them, and they come back 10 minutes later, say, oh doc, you was off by 2. You know what I'm saying? It's actually 1,555 instead of, you said 1,557. It's like, okay, bitch. And I'll be like, my bad, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just, you know, sometimes people think that because you have something or you do something that you can't make mistakes. You know, LeBron misses layups too, you know what I'm saying? And it should not be it should not go unnoticed that he is in the NBA, and that's the highest pinnacle of the sport that you could be in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, whether you're in America or you're in Jamaica or you're in Slovenia, wherever you're at, you want to be in the NBA if you play basketball. So, so we got to acknowledge that. But he is trash though. He's trash though. I ain't gonna say wasted talent because I don't know. Maybe he maximizes talent. I don't know, but he doesn't seem focused. You know what I'm saying? Dating Kardashians. It doesn't look good if you struggling and you dating a Kardashian. Like, of course that looks bad. So you're right, but I don't want to go and say it's wasted because I'm sure, you know, he probably take care of a lot of people back in Australia. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his family members. So that's something to salute too, because I know, especially as a man, not saying women don't either, but as a man, you want to be able to take care of your family, your loved ones. So I'm sure he's able to do that. We got to salute that too. But on that court, yeah, you're right. He trash, right? But he fooled somebody to give him all these contracts. But anyway, so yeah, so now let's get to Shakur, man. We got the laughing out the way. I want to get a little serious, man. You know, shout out to Zepeda, man. I like William Zepeda as a fighter. But, you know, from now on, man, when I think yeah, Kardashian, of course, is the facts. When I think of Zepeda, man, if I could talk to Zepeda right now, I would only tell him one thing. And that's,
Nigga, you's a bitch!
I ain't gonna lie, bro. We know William El Camarón Zepeda, which means the shrimp, right? That was his name. No, we gotta call him William La Putita, which means little bitch Zepeda. We gotta call him that now because, like I said, I don't even care that he's not fighting Shakur because I called it, bro. I said this months ago, months ago, bro. I told y'all that they are making too much of a spectacle of this fight. Like, just sign it and we get a date or don't. But they're talking about it, retracting. Like, we done seen his coach retract. We done seen Oscar De La Hoya renege. We done seen Zepeda go back and forth. It's just like, bro, this is just, it's too much. He said, remember no white women, Dr. So Zepeda, like, I honestly, bro, I can't remember a back and forth about a fight that happened in this much since Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. And even with Floyd and Manny Pacquiao, when Floyd set the terms, he said, hey, you get the test, we'll fight. Manny Pacquiao gave in or whatever, capitulated, however you want to put it. You know, he said, okay, bet, I'm going to take the test. The fight happened. We could point to something why it didn't happen. We can't point to nothing, bro. So I want to show y'all this just in case y'all think I'm lying. I say this 1,000 times. Zepeda called out Shakur, not last fight, but the fight before that. And I'm going to show you right now. Exhibit A. Here, go right here. This is Zepeda after he beat Maxie Hughes. Look at the channel now. It says 8 months ago. I don't be capping, chat. He called out Shakur. Listen to what he says here. And that's his coach Panda, who was formerly the same coach as Subaru Matias.
Yes, I want the big names in boxing. We have to recognize that Shakur is one of those big names. I want to show what I'm about, what I'm able to do, and I believe that Shakur is that person that I need.
He's so right there. He said, I believe that's what I'm able to do. I want to fight Shakur and show what I could do. This is after he beat Maxie Hughes, okay? 8 months ago. Now let's look at this. Let's look at this. I don't know when this is. This is 4 months ago. So this is after he fought Giovanni Cabrera, which is his next fight. Listen to what he says right here.
Of luck. We know that he has to do a performance today, pass due to his other performance. But
you know what? First, let me show you this. First, before we go here, I want to show you this. And this is when I said that the fight wasn't gonna happen because after this one that I just showed you, Panda went on, I think it was Mill City, and he was like, we don't want Zepeda right. I don't want Zepeda to fight Shakur right now. We don't want that fight next. That's what his coach said. You know what I'm saying? So his coach was walking it back. But he said, I think Zepeda wants it. Now I want to show you all this. This is happened in August. This is with Oscar De La Hoya and Big Turk talking about Shakur and Zepeda.
And not this only. We want to see Shakur and Zepeda. Yes. William Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson on the same card. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
So of course you don't recognize the attire. I do because I watch boxing far too much. This is this is right before the Boachuk and Virgil Ortiz card. No, this is before the fight. This is on the card with Israel Madrimov and wait, was that Israel Madrimov and Terrence Crawford? No. That was after that because Virgil Ortiz was originally going to be on that card, but this is the Virgil Ortiz and Serhiy Boachuk card. Yeah, so this is the Serhiy Boachuk and Virgil Ortiz card in August. Turkey and Oscar De La Hoya agreed. Now let's go back to this. And this, even back then, I said the fight's not going to happen. Now watch this. I want to show you this. Now this is after Zepeda fights and beats Giovanni Cabrera. Listen to what he says. Look how he starts walking it back.
We want to wish Shakur the best of luck. We know that he has to do a performance today, past due to his other performance, but all I want to do is come out of the arena and enjoy my family.
Hablando de Shakur, hizo una entrevista hace unos días diciendo que usa su nombre nomás para atención en lugar de pelear.
For those of my non-Spanish speakers, they put the translation there at the bottom. I don't know if you can see it, so I'm going to say what she said. She just asked him about, she said, okay, but Shakur, what do you think about Shakur been saying that you called him out and now he's ready to oblige and you don't want the fight? So that's essentially what she said. So say, basically Shakur say that you're using his name for clout because you're calling him out, but you want to do everything besides fight. And so they're going to show Shakur say that.
If I could pick, it's either Lomachenko, and if they go fight each other, I say Zepeda. Why Zepeda keep saying my name and clout chasing me and then won't fight me? I don't think he should get a pass for that either.
¿Cómo responderías a eso?
Bueno, pues,
so she asked him, how do you respond to that? Now listen what he says.
Él es uno de los mejores peleadores.
Well, he's one of the best fighters. And I'm reaching that level within the best.
La gente, los medios nos
he said the fans and the media keep comparing us. No, the fans and the media keep comparing y'all because you called him out.
Nos piden, se menciona. Yo, ¿qué puedo hacer más que responderle?
He said, what could I do but respond? He said, obviously, it would be an honor to fight him.
Una pelea con él, pero en un futuro se va a dar.
He said, but I don't know, but it will happen in the future. So this is Zepeda, bro. This is how he turned. This is why I knew the fight was gonna happen. I said it was gonna happen. So first he called him out when he fought Maxie Hughes. And he tweeted about it too. Then his coach came out there and said they don't want it. They've been playing around. Then Shakur was a free agent, and then Oscar De La Hoya gave him an ultimatum. He said either you sign with us and you get Zepeda, or you don't get Zepeda. He said if you want to fight Zepeda, then you got to sign with Golden Boy. He went with Matchroom. Boom, Zepeda's off the table. Then they went renegotiations, and you saw what Turk and Oscar met face to face after Shakur confirmed it, after Eddie Hearn confirmed it, after Big Turk himself confirmed it. Oscar De La Hoya and Turk met face to face in front of millions that watched that broadcast. Was Sergey Boachuk versus Virgil Ortiz, and they agreed on Zepeda and Shakur. Still didn't happen, right? Then they had conversations about the fight in November. Zepeda said he's having a baby. Cool, you know what I'm saying? Big up your family. Congratulations to the Zepeda family. All jokes aside, you know what I'm saying? Welcome your little child, and congratulations to you and yours. But he said he wasn't gonna fight this year because of his baby. He turns around and fights Tevin Farmer when? In November. He turns around and fights in November. So Shakur's probably mad about that, right? And Shakur did get injured because he was going to fight Cordina because he didn't get the Shakur fight, and then the Zepeda fight, and then now after he beat Farmer. Everybody's like, okay, February 22nd. I still said, what did I say, Chad? Y'all can coin this phrase. I said, I will not believe that they're going to fight until they're both in the ring and that first round bell goes ding. I've been saying that all the time. Now, all of a sudden, so fast forward to where we're at today, Zepeda and the president of Golden Boy just announced that Zepeda will not be fighting Shakur February 22nd because he has injured himself. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. He injured his hand after Tevin Farmer, which I'm not saying that it's a lie. I'm not saying he didn't injure his hand, but my point is that the bigger point is that it's not happening. You know what I'm saying? By hook or by crook, I told y'all it wasn't gonna happen, bro. So it's just crazy. And I will say this though, I like Zepeda as a fighter. I think he's very exciting. But I will tell you this: no matter who he fights next, I'm rooting against him. I'm not rooting for him at all because I wouldn't say it's a duck, but whether he injured his hand or not, because he was calling out the guy repeatedly, calling him out again and calling him out again, and when you finally got his attention and he's ready to oblige, and now you have every excuse, and now you saying you broke your hand, whether you really broke your hand or not, I'm sorry. This is what it is. Yeah, you got it. He said, Canelo said, Panda's a snake, like Coach Rell, who spied on Eddie Cruz, said working for Eddie was working for McDonald's, and for sure, a lawyer, man, gotta go. Shakur, a lawyer. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Panda's a good coach. I don't know much about him besides him coaching Shakur and, not Shakur, sorry, Subra Matias and William Zepeda. I'm not gonna say he's a bad coach, but like I said, there's nothing wrong with you, bro. These guys are in there fighting, bro. I would never. That's why if you don't want to fight somebody, okay, bet it's a business side of boxing. However, I'm calling him. To me, he's one of the biggest ducks ever because you're calling out a guy that you don't want to fight. Like people are like, look at this article right here, chat. I want to show y'all this. This article says desperate Shakur. Like they're calling Shakur desperate. The reason why I say like they're asking if he's desperate, to me. Like this article, it's not a bad article, but the fact that the reason why I asked a question about it is because we just talked about Richardson Hitchens, right? No one says that Subra Matias didn't want to fight Hitchens. They say, how come Hitchens doesn't want to fight Subra Matias? Because he's a mandatory. The mandatory means you're the mandatory challenger for the champion. So it's mandated. The mandatory should be chasing the champion, not the other way around. So that's why we say Richardson Hitchens didn't want to fight Subra Matias. Not that Subra Matias didn't want to fight Richardson Hitchens, because he kept the belt and he still fought somebody else. So it's more likely, I don't think Hitchens was scared of him, but it's more likely that he was the one, that Hitchens didn't want to fight Subra Matias as opposed to the other way around. Same with Hamza Shiraz. People are mad at him because he's fighting Carlos Adames, which is another champion, which is I'm okay with because he's the #1 mandatory for WBC and WBO. It's just people conveniently or it was unbeknownst to them. I don't know if they just willingly forgot or just overlooked that he was a champ, that he was a mandatory for 2 sanctioned bodies. They just assumed he was going to fight Janibek. So people gave him, rightfully so, some backlash for not fighting Janibek. He took the WBC route. But they're not blaming Janibek because Janibek's a champion. The mandatory is the one that's supposed to be chasing the challenge, chasing the champ, not the other way around. This case, there's still people out there saying that Shakur is desperate, Shakur needs Zepeda, all this other, like, bro, he's the champ. Like, even those stupid behind pro boxers, those goofy behind jokers over there, man, that push a narrative clearly in favor of Top Rank and Golden Boy. I don't know why they always push, well, I mean, I know why they push the narratives, people are in their pockets, but they're trying to say that somebody needs to give Zepeda. I like Sergio Martinez, man. I mean, Sergio Martinez. I like Sergio Martinez too. I like Sergio Mora. I met him in real life, man. Had a great discussion with him. Shout out to Sergio Mora. But it's just very annoying when these guys and girls that should know better don't do better. Like, I know that you know boxing, bro. You're an intelligent dude, bro. So when you're saying something so misleading, I know that it's intentional. It's not unintentional. It's not unbeknownst to you that how the rules of boxing go. You know, as a former boxer, Tim Bradley for sure knows, but he's just a lost cause, you know. And Paulie Maldonado, he's just another lost cause too. And I was disappointed in Chris Algieri because I ain't gonna lie, Sean Porter, Chris Algieri, and Sergio Mora, I just expect more of them because they seem like they're level-headed and they're intelligent. The other guys, they don't seem so much, you know. Paulie Maldonado, Tim Bradley, they just seem like they say whatever. I don't know, man. Yeah, they be talking all types of incompetent, simpleton bullshit. But anyway. So it kind of like, it hurt me when like Teddy Atlas said something like that. But Teddy Atlas and Sean Porter haven't said anything like that. But I have heard Chris Algieri imply and Sergio Mora imply, not only imply, flat out say that somebody at 135 needs to give Zepeda a chance. No, Zepeda has to take his chance. So you telling me which makes more sense to y'all, chat? The guy that's the #1 in every sanctioned body. Does it make more sense that, and he's not getting a title fight, does it make more sense that not only is Shakur ducking him, Tank ducking him, Lomachenko ducking him, and Baranchik ducking him, so it makes sense that all 4 champions are ducking their mandatory? Or does it make sense that the mandatory is not taking his opportunity to fight any of the champions? Which one do you think makes more sense? One guy, the same guy, the common denominator that's not fighting Shakur, ain't trying to fight Tank either. The same guy's not trying to fight Shakur and Tank, ain't trying to fight Loma either. The same guy's not trying to fight Shakur, Tank, and Loma, ain't trying to fight Baranchik either. So it's not a case of him not being afforded the opportunity. He's not taking the opportunity. He's not trying to expedite the process to get a championship. Hence, the IBF removed him. He's no longer #1 in the IBF anymore. You know, IBF don't play no games. So either you weren't paying the money or you didn't want to fight the champion in Lomachenko. Now, Lomachenko's contemplating retirement, but forget all that because they didn't strip Lomachenko. So you know it wasn't Lomachenko turned down Zepeda. It had to be either Zepeda didn't pay his money because he didn't want to fight Lomachenko, or he just flat out said, I don't want to fight Lomachenko, so they removed him. Just like when Cody Crowley, also in the IBF, he didn't fight Jerron Boots Ennis. They gave him time to go situate his eye, you know what I'm saying, recover his eye, right? Then he came back and said, I wasn't ready again after Jerron Boots Ennis fought David Avedisian as a late replacement for Cody Crowley. Guess what happened? Cody Crowley is not in the IBF rankings anymore. And Conor Benn magically got scooted up. But he got removed out the IBF because the IBF don't play no games. Because Cody Crowley was a mandatory. So either if the mandatory doesn't get an opportunity in the IBF, either the champions get a strip for not fighting your mandatory and satisfying your responsibilities and your duties as a champion, or the challenger is going to get removed for not executing their right to challenge. You know, so I don't know, man. So yeah, so I don't think there's any question. The only people that's questioning Zepeda Ducky right now, you're just a, he's a putita, and you a putita too. Both y'all putitas. You just a groupie. Like there's no way around it. I can show you the rankings right now, man. Let me show you the rankings right now. Zepeda is no longer in the IBF rankings. These are facts. I can't lie to you. I'm gonna show you right now. Just like I said about Cody Crowley, right? 147, you don't see Cody Crowley's name in the IBF, right? Remember, Cody Crowley was right here. He was number 1. That's why there's still a vacancy in the rating, not rated, because that was Cody Crowley. You know what I'm saying? So why we go right here. Look. Zepeda. He's an interim champion too. He's not here anymore. Before he was even an interim champion, you could say, oh, well, because he moved because he's an interim champion. No. Before he got the interim championship, he was removed. He got this from fighting Tevin Farmer. So that leads you to even further believe that he should be fighting Shakur. Because guess who's fighting their champion? Oh, Oscar Valdez. He's an interim. He's fighting Emmanuel Navarrete next. What's wrong with Zepeda? Zepeda just don't want no pressure, bro. And that's crazy. Like I said, if you don't want to fight him, that's cool. It's your liberty. You know, you're at your liberty to fight whoever you want. That's the beneficial part of being the mandatory in all 4 bodies. But pick one, bro. It's not a case of them not giving you the chance or opportunity. It's a case of you not utilizing your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And also, don't call out somebody. Like I said, he called out Shakur Stevenson multiple times. That's the problem I have. If you just didn't want to fight Tank, cool. You don't want to fight Lomachenko, cool. You don't want to fight Berinchik, cool. It's your prerogative. You don't want to fight Shakur, cool. But you called him out, I'm not going. You can't call him out, bro. He should be removed out of the WBA, WBO now. Yeah, because of interim. Yep, facts. My guy Ty in the building. He said, I need to stop typing and driving all these things. You good, bro? You good? My bad if I missed a message. Y'all let Eddie slide with his fighters of over 90% of them at some point pop for PT. Hey, you talking about Reynoso? Zepeda dropped out the WBO top spot also. Keyshawn still, yeah. My guy Ryan in the building. Yeah, it's not official, but yeah, he's gonna move out the WBO as well. But Berinchik might be having a fight soon too, though. There's been some rumors about him fighting the number 4 guy, Sam Noakes. There's been some rumors about him fighting somebody else, so we'll see if he's gonna have a fight in the interim before the Keyshawn Davis. We got my boy Ty in the building. Now, who knows if he fights Tank? Yeah, facts, Canelo. Now, I'm glad you just said that. Perfect segue. So the reason why they said Shakur was looking desperate in that thing, in that article I was showing, is because Shakur is entertaining our guy Ferocious KAMBOSOS, who I think is, I got a bone to pick with KAMBOSOS, because I was looking into it myself to make sure it was true, because, you know, I don't just look at an article, I double down and I do my due diligence. But I saw George KAMBOSOS say something that was so not gangster. I couldn't believe he said this, chat. That was so not gangster. I be sticking up for George KAMBOSOS. When they be calling him KAMBOSOS and all that stuff, I ain't sticking up for him no more. Because look what he said right here. I couldn't believe he said this, chat. I said, ain't no way he just said this. He said, Gladiator is in my top 5 movies of all time, favorite movies. I'm going to go watch Gladiator 2. They better not mess this up. I'll be devastated. Will I be entertained? Like, will you be entertained? Yeah. And then he says, okay, this is his response to this is his movie review. He said, okay, I give it a 5 out of 10 of the storyline. I didn't see Gladiator 2, so I have no problem with this. He said, I feel they could have done better. He said, Denzel tried hard, but reminded me of Alonzo from Training Day. So I think what he's saying is that Denzel tried hard to save it because Denzel makes movies. You know what I'm saying? That's the guy right there. Okay, nobody. That's the best actor to ever do it. Best thespian, hands down, male or female. But there's a lot of good thespians too. You know what I'm saying? You got Tom Hanks, Denzel. I ain't gonna name Viola Davis. You know what I'm talking about? You got so many. You know what I'm saying? Regina King, who's underrated. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Regina King. But anyway, I could go on for a long. I like movies. I'm a big cinematic enthusiast, I guess. But yeah, so he reminded me of Alonzo from Training Day. I was just waiting for my man quote. You was waiting for him to say my man. You was waiting for him to say my man. Hold on, bro. All right, I'm putting cases on all you bitches. And then, so look, this will make me mad right here, man. So I clicked on it, right, to see what people say. And this old ignorant, retarded, stuck on stupid, this person go and say right here, Romero is true pound for pound. Like, you're talking about Rolly Romero. That's how you know they dumb right there. I think they're talking about Rolly Romero is true pound for pound. Yeah, that's how you know. Shout out to Rolly. Rollies, that's my guy. But you know, they said Denzel gonna play Denzel every time. What do you mean by that? What do you mean Denzel's gonna play Denzel every time?
What do you mean by that?
So are we implying that Denzel doesn't have range? Sir Washington? What are we doing? Denzel don't have range? Mo Better Blues Denzel? John Q Denzel? Training Day Denzel? Roman Israel Esquire Denzel? Fight Denzel? Hurricane Denzel? What are we doing? Remember the Titans Denzel? What's the Civil War joint? Glory Denzel don't got range? What are we doing? And that's the thing about the internet. This is why I don't like the internet, bro. I'm gonna tell you, because I've never heard, now correct me if I'm wrong, chat, I've never heard anybody question Denzel's acting chops until this one goofy, idiotic fool on Vlad TV, Michael J. White, tried to say that that Denzel and Samuel Jackson. First of all, Samuel Jackson needs way more credit than he gets because he is pretty much typecasted as an angry man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what his point was. His point, the bigger point that I heard from my perspective and how I interpreted what he was trying to say was that Samuel L. Jackson could easily be credited as one of the best actors just like Denzel. But he, like most ignorant pieces of crap that don't earn nothing and really don't know how to do nothing besides hate, he went from the angle of diminishing Denzel to try to boost up Samuel L. Jackson. And ever since then, I don't remember how many years ago that was, now all of a sudden everybody is super critical, hypercritical of Denzel's range. We're acting like Denzel don't got range. If Denzel ain't got range, then who got range? I could name some actors that got range. Denzel got range. Tom Hanks got range. Leonardo DiCaprio got range. Will Smith got range. Jamie Foxx got range. Robert Downey Jr. got range. You just don't watch movies. Just say that you always watch movies like Equalizer and Training Day, and that's your and American Gangster. Those are the only Denzel movies that you watch. So they're all similar characters. Yes, they're all kind of gangster. So of course you're gonna see Denzel acting as a gangster. But anyway, I got off track. We're gonna Treetop in the building. What's good, brethren? Denzel kissed a boy. Hey, yo, wait, what? Denzel, one of the bro, Ryan, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro. You get your hands off me. Malcolm X, Denzel, Ty. Come on now. Get your hands out my pocket. Come on now. I know he's not prejudiced, but he been saying the wildest. No, I don't think it's prejudice. I think it's just. I don't think it's an example of prejudice. I think it's just an example of incompetency. I think he's just dumb. I don't think he's in. And like I said, I don't think KAMBOSOS really. I don't think KAMBOSOS meant. I'm not sure how he meant it, but that's how it came across. That's why that person put there. Oh yeah, Denzel gonna be Denzel every time. No, you just don't watch Denzel. You just don't watch him, bro. Denzel a sellout. Best actor is Mark Phillips. Why is he a sellout, bro? I ain't get into that. But anyway, the point is that KAMBOSOS is moving to 140, like we talked about a couple shows ago. And dang, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah. Denzel was KAMBOSOS was moving up to 140, right? He just signed with Matchrooms. That was dope. So now him and Shakur are in a little back and forth. And I don't like the fight. It's not a fight that I'm intrigued. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It's not that I don't like the fight. I'm not intrigued for the fight. I wasn't anticipating the fight, but I like the fight. I'm not mad at this fight because if they do fight, you know, and if Shakur is entertaining George KAMBOSOS and George KAMBOSOS is entertaining Shakur, he's telling Shakur to move to 140. That's the thing. We know it's not going to be at 135 because George KAMBOSOS just announced his arrival at 140 like a week ago, not even a couple days ago. So we know he's not going to be at 135. However, in order for them to fight, then Shakur would have to move up to 140. I think that this will expedite which I thought that he would be at 140. I said that I remember don't call me, you know what I'm saying? The P and PG and GM ain't for a prognosticator, but you know, I do my thing. I said that I don't think that I think in 2025, Shakur is going to move to 140. If not, this will be his last year in 2025. Last year. 2025 will be his last year at 135, or at the end of the year he'll move to 140. And either at 2020, if he doesn't move to 140 in 2025 by the end of 2025, then it will be his last year at 135, in my personal opinion. So this would speed up things. And then that'll help Eddie Hearn move his guy from 135. I mean, his champ, like Joe Cordina, a former champ, and help him get a guy at 135. Just like I think is what he's trying to do with Boots. Trying to push Boots to 154 so he can get his newly fresh off of suspension Conor Benn with his PEDs. You know what I'm saying? You know Conor Benn with all them PEDs.
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
So they got him moving up to they got him move Jerron Boots Ennis to go to 154 so Conor Benn could bring the eggs to 147. So I think that Eddie Hearn is doing some crazy stuff back in the background, but I don't know. He said Denzel sellout, best actor is Mark Phillips. He said here go Eddie's pushing dudes. Exactly, Ty. You see where I'm going. And Ty knows exactly where I'm going with it. Exactly. Doctor, you kissed a boy in Gladiator movie. I cannot rock with that. Oh, okay. Well, you know, that ain't. that ain't my business, man. I ain't gonna lie. I feel, hey, do your thing. I ain't knocking you, Treetop. You know. I'm a heterosexual male, proud of it, but I can't knock nobody's orientation, man. I did, granted, he's just acting. I mean, obviously he got kids. He married to Pauletta Washington, which also should be saluted for them having such a long, successful marriage. But people just like the drama. People like to see Offset and Cardi B argue all the time and cheat on each other all the time. But the big, successful marriages that lasted a long time, we don't want to celebrate. But shout out to him and Pauletta. But yeah. Hey, do your thing, Treetop. But you know, hey, I ain't gonna judge nobody, man. It's acting. Some people do what they do for acting, man. You know. I ain't kissing no boy, but that's just because I'm a heterosexual male. You know, I'm not knocking it though, because you know what I'm saying, shout out for everybody, man. Do you whatever makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna knock it, but yeah, I feel you. Hey, do your thing, though. I ain't mad at you, bro. Kambosos versus Shakur is a good fight at 140. Maybe slower will get picked apart even worse. Yeah. So I don't think it's a bad fight. This is why I don't think it's a bad fight. Yo, shout out to my boy Dub in the building. Come on, bro. You know that ain't right. Hey, yo.
No Diddy.
Hey, I ain't see it. I gotta go check it out, man. I can't speak on something I ain't see, man. You know, there's a lot of actors doing a lot of things. You know, he wouldn't be the first. So, yeah, I don't know. He said, but I will say this though. Treetop. I'm not gonna be. Like I said, it's a movie. You know what I'm saying? I could name you all types of actors and actresses that kissed. You know what I'm saying, did some stuff that they wouldn't normally do for the sake of acting. So I'm not going to be extra hard on this person for wearing a dress or this person for kissing somebody because they look this way or they're of this complexion or of this community. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're all actors and actresses and thespians, so they do what they do. I'm not going to be extra hard on one for, like, you know what I'm saying? I can name you 1,000 actors and actresses that depict something on the screen that they're not in real life, so I ain't tripping. We not rock with actors on Geechee time. That's crazy. He said, but he's gonna end up doing it anyway because of the cut. So yeah, with Kambosos, I'm not mad at this fight because Kambosos only has 3 losses. I think Shakur smokes him, of course. But number one, Kambosos only has 3 losses, just like Lomachenko has 3 losses. Kambosos lost to Devin Haney twice, and Lomachenko. No shame in that. Number 2, Shakur is coming off of a hand injury, so I think it would behoove him to get a tune-up anyway. I've always said that. I don't think that he should fight Zepeda straight off a hand injury, but he says he's ready. So I was like, hey, man, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I thought that would be a good fight, but that's not going to happen. And so I want to be mad at Kambosos. Now, I don't like it if he has to fight him at 140. Or let me rephrase that. I don't like it if he fights him at 140 and it comes at a consequence of him having to sacrifice his belt at 135. Because, like I say, y'all know I like Tank. I respect the heck out of Shakur's boxing acumen. I like Lomachenko, and I respect Lomachenko. I like, and Barichek is a champion. I like the champions, you know what I'm saying? But I think Tank beats Shakur, but I think it's a great fight. I think Shakur is Tank's biggest threat. So I want to see that fight happen. I'm not one of those that is a fan of a fighter or likes a fighter, and I like this fighter more than I like this fighter, so I don't think that the fighter that I don't like doesn't deserve the fight. No, I think Shakur and Tank is one of the biggest fights in boxing. Like I said, I think the 3 biggest fights in boxing, one we already saw was Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. The second biggest fight to me is Canelo, and for me now, I'm not talking about for the world, I'm talking about for me, it's Canelo and Benavidez. And then the third biggest fight to me is Shakur and Tank. So I want to see that fight. You know what I'm saying? I think that Shakur can beat him. I don't think he will beat him, but I think he can beat him because Shakur is nice with it. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I want that fight to happen. I think if he moves to 140 and he drops his belt, obviously, if he drops his belt, that fight won't happen. I don't think it'll happen. I think that it will happen because they both have a belt and they can unify. But if one of them loses a belt, I don't think it happens, man. So that to me that would suck. Hey, Doc, I know you said you're not listening to the Kendrick album, but that shit fine. Oh, yeah? I didn't say I wasn't listening to it? Bro, hey, man, so, bro, you be saying a lot of stuff I would be saying. What you mean? I would listen to it. I haven't listened to music in a minute, if that's what you're saying. But I don't want to say, I'm not saying I wouldn't listen to it like, well, I never said I wouldn't listen to it. It's just I don't know if I will. But, yeah, I would listen. I like Kendrick. I heard his last album, but it's not like I'm not really big on music like that anymore to where like I'm like, oh yeah, man, that album drop, I got to go cop it. Nah, but I would listen to it though. I believe that's fire, man. Kendrick never disappointed me before the album. Yeah, even with that though, you know, like Kendrick and Drake, like I never feel compelled to pick a side. You know, I think that as somebody who didn't pay attention to the beef like that, for the outside looking in, like I said, I only heard one song, and that was They Not Like Us. I only heard it like once or twice. Just from the public reception and what the public consensus, the consensus is, I would say Drake lost, but I didn't like listen to the songs individually, so I can't tell you who I think won. But I would, if someone asked me who I think won, I would say just from the public reception that Drake lost for sure. But yeah, but I like Kendrick though. You know, so I like them both. They don't do nothing for me. So I ain't got no reason to. But yeah, I would listen to it though. What's good, Mansa? My guy though. I didn't even see you in here, bro. What's poppin' with you, bro? Mansa being disrespectful, flag on the play. You feel me? Hitman 3-0 or 2-1 Gotti was weak late. Okay. 3-0? Ooh, that boy. I know. You know what's crazy, Dub? I know you, bro. I was gonna tell you that you was gonna pick Hitman. How you think I saw it? How you think I saw it, Dub? I'm glad you said that. I meant to ask you. Hitman trio. Ooh, Doc or 2-1 Gotti round was Gotti first round was 5. That's the one I gave to Gotti for sure. Gotti definitely got round 1. Hey, Doc, yeah, man. So yeah, but Kendrick, I might check it out though. But yeah, I definitely gave. Gotti got the first round. Now, to me, I could see it 2-1 either way, but I had a feeling you was gonna go Hitman because I ain't gonna lie, Hitman. That was vintage Hitman. The thing about it though, I will say this though. For me, Dub. This for me now. If what he was saying about Geechee's girl was true, then I think he got it. But I'm not sure if it's true, and I don't like fabricated angles. Like, I don't mind if you exaggerate the angle, but I don't like blatant lies. Like, I remember, I never really cared. I'm gonna be honest, I never really cared for Calico like that either, but I pretty much approach and enjoy battle rap like I approach and enjoy boxing. Like, I might be rooting for somebody, or I might like somebody more, but if somebody does good, whether I like them or not, I'm gonna give them their credit. But Calico, I never really cared for. I always thought he was overrated. And then I remember when Calico battled Goods, and like his whole angle was about Goods' father being white, which is nothing wrong with that, you know, but that was his angle. And then it come to find out Goods' father is not white. So I didn't really think that he won anyway, but that made that battle even worse, and it made me like him even less, because it's like, bro, like you really. And he even said, he said, yeah, I just thought. He said, yeah, what'd he say? He said, yeah, I just made that up, man. I said, you made it up. I already didn't like him. I always thought, he one of them, to me, I don't know him personally, of course, but just the vibes that he gives off to me, the energy he gives off is just like, his dad was probably that, you know what I'm saying? Because his dad is known in, blackface. He's known as a known gangster in Detroit, or whatever he did in Detroit. I ain't from Detroit, so it won't make me no difference. But in Michigan, he's supposed to be that dude. And to me, he's just a son of a gangster that thinks he's gangster by like he inherited gangster or something like that. Like, I mean, you can, people gonna respect you, but you gotta stand on your own at some point, man. I always thought Calico was corny, and then when I found out that he did that, I was like, yeah, that did something to cornball like you would do. I'll be right back. We grab the water. I hate fake tough guys. I can't stand that with a passion, bro. You tough depending on the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the crowd or where you at. You tough depending on location. I think that's corny. That's what he comes off to be as, like one of them fake tough guys. Like the Jay Prince Jr. You know what? I've heard that before, Treetop, but again, I can't. From what I heard, yeah, like that. But I ain't hear, I ain't never heard much about. I ain't never really paid attention myself, but I've heard some things about that too, Treetop. So yeah. I can't verify that though. But yeah, man, but yeah. So when he made up that angle, so my point is that if what Hitman said was real, my guy TMP in the building. What's good, brethren? Treetop in the building. TMP in the building. He said, yeah. So he said Shakur fake tough. I mean, he a boxer, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't really. Shakur is annoying to me personally. But like I said, I just try to go on Twitter. I literally only go on Twitter for like boxing things, and like if I see stuff along the way, you know what I'm saying, I'll check it out. But like, so he doesn't really bother me too much. But I will say that is annoying. Like when he types, like he always tweeting about something. He just seems like to me he seems sensitive. He seems like somebody that likes to talk trash. When people talk trash back, he gets sensitive. You know, I don't like that either. But I can't say he's a fake tough guy. He's a boxer. I got to give him credit. He's tough. He's a tough guy now. Come on now. His profession is to punch and get punched on. I can't take. Come on now. We got to give him something now. So like I can't take the respect. Like I always respect Shakur from his from what he does in the ring. Like it might be boring, might not be as entertaining as some that people would like to see, but he's definitely good at what he does. As far as being a master manipulator of distance and range. So I can't take that away from him, man. But yeah, as far as like his personality, I don't know him, but he doesn't seem like somebody I'd be cool with. Like if that's what you're saying, yeah, he seems like he just, from what I see, he just seems like he just does what's popping at that moment, you know. You got to stand on something. You don't seem like you stand on much. And in regards to like, you know, I'm gonna just do this because it's cool over here. So, but I don't think he's a fake tough guy though. I can't say he's fake tough. He's a boxer. I got to give him all credit. You know, even I call Zepeda ducking. You know, he's ducking, but he's ducking Shakur. But I can't say he's not a tough guy. They tough. He volunteered to do it. He sucker punches girls in the back of the head. Oh, I didn't know about that. Who sucker punched a girl in the back of the head? What they call it? The Donkey Kong thump? What they call that? The gorilla thump or something like that. Who out there? He definitely beat. Who does? Who out there beating women, bro? We gotta stop. Not Shakur. I heard about Tanks running with the chick or something like that. I don't know how true that is either. Like I said, bro, if it's not about bigging them up, bro, I don't be trying to look into the extracurricular stuff. I ain't gonna lie. But if I hear about it, I'll say it. Yeah, I heard about Tank beating a chick, which is definitely not cool. That shit trash. Can't be hitting on no chick. Shakur, dang, you seen that? I did not see the video. I missed that. It can't be beating on the women, man. I ain't gonna say it's more prevalent. I don't know, like, that's the thing with social media, man. I don't want to say something happens more often. I just think we notice it more. That's a good thing about social media because we notice we should be able to reprimand these people, but it does seem like it's been happening more, man. You got to stop. You know what I'm saying? With Conor McGregor just getting his, you know what I'm saying, whatever happened with him in his case. We got to stop. We got to find a way to stop these dudes from hitting on these women, man. That's some pump pussy ass shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's some whole ass shit, bro. Not saying that women should be punching on dudes either, but at the same time, you're a man, bro. You could restrain her. You could hold her. You know what I'm saying? I done had to grab a bitch by, you know, I done had to hold a chick before. You know what I'm saying? Or even if you choke them or something like that, but don't be punching on no chick, bro. That shit trash. Shakur at a gas station, 100%. Look it up right now. That happened a few years ago. Yeah, I never heard about that. Yeah, y'all put me on something. I missed that. I knew about the Tank situation, and didn't he I don't even know what he did, to be honest. I think he no, that was Floyd in the phone. What happened with Tank? Didn't Tank kick a girl or something like that? He missed the first sucker punch and fell. Ain't no way. That happened ain't no way. Tay-Rock versus Chess 2 on DNA channel 2 weeks ago. 20 minutes of absolute insanity, bro. I didn't catch that whole thing. Yeah, the Chess and Tay-Rock one. I saw some clips where Tay-Rock sit down or something like that. And then he did I think Chess did a wrestling bar or something like that. You know, Tay-Rock love wrestling. So yeah, I got to go peep that whole thing. I ain't catch that. But yeah, man. So yeah, I'm gonna look into that though. But yeah, that's trash though. We gotta denounce that stuff, man. Even Dana White slapping his wife. I saw that one. We gotta denounce that stuff, man. Let me hit on these women, man. The beating his second baby mom thing was cap. Okay, but Tank is on camera dragging his first one at the celebrity basketball game and kicked her. Yeah, okay, see, I know about that. Yeah, that shit trash, bro. That shit is trash, bro. Let me hit on women. I know you get angry. I get angry too. Don't get me wrong. You know, I done had some relationships that got violent before, but I know how angry I get, bro. I could restrain myself. I don't feel like I wanted to. You know what I'm talking about? You don't feel that way. You can't do that, man. Can't do that, bro. I'm glad to say I ain't. You know, to stop my homeboys. I know some people oh, yeah, they homeboy beat on a girl. You know, they let it happen. Nah, I would stop it. You know, and break it up. I ain't gonna be out there telling. You know, nothing like that. But I definitely would stop it. I had stopped it a couple times before. I just stop dudes from fighting. I'm definitely gonna stop a dude and a girl. Come on now. Now I will say this though. I told y'all that story about when my homeboy laid out that one chick, but I ain't see that coming. I ain't know it's like that. I ain't know it's gonna happen right then at that moment, and it happened so fast. But after he did it, well, I can't even say I did grab him, but we all ran at the same time because he knew he was wrong. I think I told y'all that story already, right? At the club where he tried to, ratchet behind Miami dude, man. That was the last time I went out with him. I said, bro, I can't go out with you no more, bro. I said, I can't be associated with that. But I'd be damn someone try to blame me for it. A lot of people say, oh, you went to a Diddy party, so you know about the Diddy stuff. No, bro, just because you're there, you can't blame somebody for that. UFC almost lost someone in UFC China yesterday. That the KO was insane. Yeah, I saw it was a chick, right? And that's what you talking about, Dub? I think I saw like the chick on a stretcher. I ain't see the whole thing, but he said the second one was in the one that tore up the house and put his toothbrush and the baby shit on. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's crazy. You can't I don't know, man. Let's just be tough. Don't forget to smash that like button for your boy. I appreciate it. So I said she should have done. I can't say that, but she did rush her. So I'm gonna go through. I told this story before, but I'm gonna go through it as quick as possible. So I was at the club. This is a long time ago. I was like a sophomore in college or junior. I can't remember. But it's not funny, bro. God forgive me, bro. I had to pray. But so there's these girls. It was at the club. The club let out. We walking out. The girls in front of us. 4 girls. One homeboy. 2 were walking up ahead. No, 1 was walking up ahead. I guess she was a driver, so she was most sober. 3 were walking a little bit behind. Me and my homeboy was back there. My homeboy walked up, tried to go talk to the one at the front. My other homeboy, it was one girl in the middle and her 2 girls, and she had like a little tiara on or something. It was her birthday. And so he said, oh, yeah, so what's up? It's your birthday. What you gonna do? Whatever. He tried to talk to her. He said, oh, let me get your number. And she said, no. And he asked her again. She said, no. And she said, no. And he said, man, back up. And then, that's what homegirl said. Homegirls, trying to protect their girl, which is okay because they was drunk. She was drunk. And then he was like, oh, that's why your pussy stank. And she said, what? He said, yeah, your pussy stank. Your pussy stank. And he kept saying it. And then she said, oh, you gonna talk about my... And then, so all 3 of them is like, they instantly sobered up. And they went after him. And so I grabbed 2. Like I said, there was 3. And the big one got loose. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I could not hold her, bro. So I held 2. The birthday one, because she was a little smaller. And the other friend who was she wasn't quite my height, but she was a big girl too. And then the other girl who's a bigger girl, she was about my height. And she was like kind of solid. Like she could have played power forward or something. Man, she got loose, boy. My boy didn't have time to turn around. So he was walking backwards. Like, you better back up. You better back up. I'm holding the other 2. And then like he was walking backwards, and Tallahassee is hilly. And so he kind of, he wasn't seeing where he was going. And it kind of elevated. Like it was like a little hill, a little incline. And he didn't see it because he was walking backwards, and he fell back. And then when he fell back, she rushed him. And then he like springboarded up, pushed himself up, and man, I'm talking about she was asleep, So I just grabbed him and I said, man, we gotta go, man. We gotta go. And so he just left. And if she was in the snow, it would have been an angel out there. She would have been she made an asphalt angel. That was terrible though, man. I'm laughing now, but it's not funny, man. I was like, bro, you wildin', bro. And then some dudes was walking by talking about, you just go hit a girl, bro. And I just get mad, man. If I'm already, that's my homeboy too, So I told him, man, you better shut your ass up before I whoop your ass. You better shut your ass up or I'll lay you out just like that too. Or you get laid out like that too or something like that. But they ain't saying nothing. I was finna beat their ass. Well, it was like a couple of Mike in the building. You like that turkey dude or you think he's bad for the sport? But yeah, you just can't be hitting on girls like that though. Like I said, that was just a one-time thing. That was my homeboy. That wasn't me. I mean, damn, I told, but it was other incidents. We got incidents like that. Not like that, but similar. You one of them dudes that be grabbing girls on their butt and stuff like that, and I'm not with that. So that was just the icing on the cake. I was like, bro, I can't go out with you no more, bro. Because now it's gonna like, what I'm saying, it's gonna like it got something to do with me now. So, but yeah, but TMP said, do I think Turkey is good? Do I like that Turkey dude? Like, yeah, I like Big Turk, man. Big Turk going crazy, bro. Or you think he's bad for? I think he's great for the sport, man. Like to me, I don't know how you feel about it, TMP, but I will say this, man. For me, I don't know how you feel, but if you just go off of Big Turk and what he's done for boxing this past year, and since I've recognized his inclusion, I'm not saying he hasn't always been present. I know he's been present for about a few years, but he's really just got active this year. I don't see what there's not. What is there not to like? Now, if you're coming from the perspective, I'm talking about people, not you individually, you in general. Generally speaking, if people that don't like him, I think it's because they're fearful. You know what I'm saying? They're in fear or worried that he has some type of nefarious, diabolical, malevolent plan to take over boxing in the world or something. Like, I don't know. What do you think he's gonna do? Like, what he's gonna be like? So, but what do you think he has in store? Like malice? Like, I don't get it. Like, bro, he brought us Beterbiev and Bivol, light heavyweight, undisputed. He brought us Fury and Usyk, heavyweight, undisputed. First one in 25 years, quarter century. He brought us the main event with Terrence Crawford versus Israel Madrimov, and that undercard were all fights that could have headlined on smaller cards. David Morrell versus Hot Rod Kaladze could have been a headliner. Jarrell Big Baby Miller versus Andy Ruiz could have been a headliner. Martin Bacoli versus Big Baby Anderson could have been a headliner. Esau Pitbull Cruz versus Rayo Valenzuela could have been a headliner. I probably missed somebody too. But yeah, so like, what's there not to, bro? The 5v5, he pioneered that. I've never seen a 5v like that. Come on, bro. I don't see what is there, and not to mention all the other cards. You know, he would have brought us Zepeda and Shakur if Zepeda wasn't William La Putita. You know what I'm saying? La Putita. You know, Zepeda. So he would have brought us that too. He would have brought us potentially Virgil Ortiz and Jerome Butis. Potentially he'll bring us. You know, so no, I don't see what is there not to like. Now, do I want to see boxing adapt a business model like the UFC and Dana White? Hell no. I don't think that's good for boxing. I don't think if it's just like one belt, and I know it may seem good for the fans, but you just never know what that rigidity would do and how it would carry out throughout the landscape of boxing. So as much as I want fewer belts, I don't know if I just want one, you know, because I do think that there's a place for regional belts, international belts, silver belts, whatever. I think there's a place because that's how some fighters get their name. You know what I'm saying? It's having those smaller belts, and that boosts up their notoriety, you know. So I don't think we should eliminate those, but like the belts that are like the super belt, regular belt, intern belt, colorful belt, the block belt, you know what I'm saying? Whatever belt they talking about, like, those are too much. But I think there should be reduced, but not just one. I don't think it should just be one. But yeah, I don't understand how people don't like Big Turk, man. I don't see what's there not to like, unless you think he just has some, like, he's, what's it called? What was that cartoon, remember, with the Animaniacs? That, same thing we try to do, Pinky of the Brain. What we try to do today, Brain, same thing we do every day, Pinky, try to take over the world. Like, you think Big Turk try to take over the world through boxing or something? I don't know why people don't like him. I really don't understand. If someone can explain that to me, please elaborate and enlighten me. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why people don't like Big Turk. I really don't. I think he's good for boxing. Now, is he the only thing good for boxing? Nah, but he's definitely one of the highlights for sure. At least for me, my boxing fandom, he did nothing but great things for me. So from where I'm sitting, I like him until, you know, what is fear? I think a lot of people are fearful, you know, of what's unknown or what's new, or what's changed, right? But Zig Ziglar, rest in peace, motivational speaker I used to listen to, from Texas. You know, he always said fear. You know, fear. I'm sure he did make it up, but he's where I heard it from. So for me, he's the one that made it up. But fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. You know, fear. So yeah. So people, to me, that don't like Big Turk is because something that he hasn't done. They think he's gonna do something that he hasn't done, and like, so I don't know, man. I like him. I like Big Turk. I have no reason not to like him. And the fights that he hasn't brought, he's been trying. So Texas. What you mean? That's how they say it, double. Why is that disrespectful, bro? That's the Texas swang, man. The Texas twang. How is that disrespectful?
Here you go. Oh shit. Yeah, I'm tired of that. It was so disrespectful.
Why is disrespectful, bro? You know what I'm talking about? Why is disrespectful, bro? I ain't mean it disrespectfully, bro. Without Turk, we would be 5 years, but you feel me? Dubois versus Joshua, right? Treetop, exactly. I saw Daylight on stage. I was there. I don't follow him after. Yeah, I ain't rocking with Daylight. Yeah, Daylight be on some other stuff. Canelo says he has Paro. I mean, he has Hitchens. Yeah, I got Paro, man. I'm leaning towards Paro. I think it's a 50-50 fight, but for me personally, I think it's more 60-40. Like I think I could see Hitchens beating Paro though. Don't get it twisted, but I could see Paro beating Hitchens. Like I say, you know, that's one of the fights. I'm gonna keep saying this too because people didn't believe me. I remember certain people came to the stream telling me that I was crazy because I said Liam Paro was gonna beat Super Matias in his backyard in Puerto Rico. You know, I ain't gonna say no names because you know we about bigging things up, not bringing things down and diminishing them. You know what I'm saying? But they know who they are. You know, yeah. We said Liam Paro was gonna beat Super Matias. People thought I was out my mind. Yo, stick talk. Richie in the building. What's good? Said, let me see that crip walk. Because you know we about that stick talk. Who said that, chat? Come on, Dub. Who said that, Dub? That's a battle rap right there. That's I believe that was Briz. Yeah, that was Briz when he was battling Arsenal. I aim this AK at every grape in your family tree and get them picked off. Name them names. Just know y'all rock with me because y'all rock with me. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't naming no names. Y'all know. If you know, you know, you know. A lot of people know. But, you know, one person in particular. You know, everybody say I'm crazy though, man. Everybody say, like I say, I don't like to use this one, but because it was cheating. And this lets you know that I have no favoritism. I just call it like I see it. I said that I thought Ryan Garcia would beat Devin Haney. Now it doesn't count because I think that cheating is wrong. And if you cheat and they determine a no contest, and that's what it is. So, but I did win money off Ryan Garcia doing what he did. I just didn't know what he did was going to include PEDs, and that's what makes it invalid. But I still want my money. You better believe that. So yeah, bro. Now I was wrong. I thought Esau Pitbull Cruz was going to be Rayo. I was wrong about that. But I get a lot more right than I get wrong. Believe that. We picked Dubois. Who mentioned AJ and Dubois earlier? We definitely picked Dubois on that one too. Come on, bro. I watch boxing, man. I picked Bacoli over Jerry Big Baby Anderson too. People thought I was crazy. People always think I'm crazy, bro. I watch boxing. I don't mean I'm gonna get them all wrong. I don't mean I'm gonna get them all right because I don't. But I get the reason why I don't mind saying when I get it wrong, and I remember when I get it wrong because I get them right so much. I get them right so much. I don't care. I don't have more ego saying, oh, if I get it wrong, oh, that guy needs to retire. Like people who pick somebody, and then when they wrong, they just can't take accountability, bro. I cannot stand lack of accountability from adults, especially adult men. I can't stand that, bro. Just be accountable, bro. If they pick somebody like Carl, you know, that and then they lose like Carl Crotch and Anthony Joshua before he picked Anthony Joshua to beat Dubois, then Anthony Joshua loses, and all of a sudden he has Anthony Joshua needs to retire and needs to fire his trainer. Well, it's the same Anthony Joshua and the same trainer that made you pick him over Dubois. So why he needs to retire now? If he needs to retire, then maybe you need to retire from providing boxing analysis. And people just can't they just don't have accountability, bro. There's nothing wrong with Anthony Joshua, bro. He just lost to a better Dubois. Ain't nothing wrong with Anthony Joshua, bro. Now Deontay Wilder, you know, he's on the tail end of he's on the tail end of his career. You know, he don't look the same, but I don't care when Dubois would have fought Joshua. Joshua not being that Dubois. Daylight Black Thought Lupe Fiasco absolutely. You like King Los? So I'm gonna be honest, bro. King Los is straight, bro. I don't like his battle rap. Like I said, I like battle rap, and I like to think and listen to poetry as well. But when I hear battle rap, bro, I want it to be aggressive. I want it to, you know what I'm saying? I like to get. That's why I like Danny Myers when he says like his parallel universe stuff, and you know, Bridge Raw String says some metaphors and stuff like that where you got to look up it, or you got to go back to it and draw. Like, dang, I missed that one. You got to watch it twice, but I'm not trying to hear Maya Angelou battle rap. That's what I feel like when I listen to King Los. It's just it's not engaging. It's not intriguing. I'm sorry. In battle rap, I want to see a battle. I don't want to see a stand-up poetry. You know what I'm saying? That's not. So shout out to King Los, though. You know, his lines be deep. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely rock. A lot of people think if you don't like something, you know, that's the thing about people too. If you don't like something, they try to make it seem like, oh, you just don't get it. No, I get it. There's very few things that he says go over my head, but it's just not engaging or intriguing to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to fight, but I want to believe that you gonna fight. That's what battle rap's about, bro. You know what I'm saying? Don't take the element of aggression out of it. I don't want them to fight. Now, I do not like that. I don't like that extra bumping and what Asa mean. Asa mean. I thought he was straight, but you know, then I realized quickly that the highlight of his battles is him bumping somebody. If that's the highlight, then you just trash. I ain't gonna lie. That can't be the highlight, bro. It got to be your lyrics, you know, still. But at the same time, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to hear, gosh dang. Rest in peace, Dr. Maya Angelou, by the way. But I'm not trying to see, that's why people say rap is poetry. Yeah, but it's rhythmic poetry, right? So if you don't have a rhythm while you're doing your poems, then it's not rap. You know what I'm saying? All rap are poems, but all poetry is not rap. You know, same with battle rap. You know what I'm saying? There are poems in there, but it's supposed to have some type of aggression or some type of engagement. It's not just supposed to be you. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't tell the difference if King Los was up there with a paper reading his poem or standing there rapping to it. It doesn't matter. There's no difference to me. Deontay can get that J-Paul money. Yeah, you right about that, Stick Talk. You right about that. Shakur calling out Kambosos. You think he should give the youngin' kid that squabble? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Kambosos, I like the fight. Just because of the how can I say? Just because of the circumstances. Just because of circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he's coming off of he said she gone. Wait, Dub, you ain't know Dr. Maya Angelou passed away? Yeah, she passed a while ago, bro. Like 8 years ago or something. It might be a decade. It's not funny, but I mean yeah, sometimes it happens to me though too. You know, what was it the other day? I done killed Offset. Oh, actually, I meant to say Takeoff. I actually said Offset. So yeah, Maya Angelou been gone for like, I want to say maybe at least a decade. But yeah, so Stick Talk asked me, what do I think about Shakur and Kambosos? I think Kambosos should give him a try, if that's what he wants, you know. But I will say this though, circumstantially, I think it's a good fight because Shakur's coming off of his injury, right? But I think Shakur still beats him. However, it's a good fight because Shakur's coming off his injury. He's not getting Zepeda for the third time really that Zepeda ducked Shakur. So yeah, but the only thing that's bad. Well, yeah, I think she passed away like a decade ago. But like, when I say years, I'm talking about like a lot of years. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Sometimes it happens to me too. I probably knew then and just forgot. But yeah, with Kambosos just moved up to 140, right? Stick Talk. So it's like if they fight, it's probably gonna be at 140, right? Because he literally just announced a couple days ago that he's debuting at 140 and he's coming back for 140 and it was with Matchroom. So if he fights Shakur, then Shakur fights him at 140, then what happens to the belt? Now, if they just fight at 140, like a Tank did Barrios, and then he comes back and he can still keep his belt like Lamont Roach and Emmanuel Navarrete, right? And Lamont Roach fights Tank. If he loses a Tank, he could come back down and still keep his belt. That's what they said to WBA. Same thing happened with Navarrete. When Navarrete moved up to challenge Denis Berinchyk when they fought for that vacant title 135, Navarrete lost, but he still kept his belt in the WBO at 130. Right, so if it's something like that where Shakur could move up to 140 but still retain his WBC belt at 135, which I doubt, but if it does happen, for some reason I doubt it. I don't know why, but I just don't think that they would make that provision for him. But I don't know, I could be wrong. But yeah, but if that happens and he has to relinquish his belt, then no, I don't want that fight because, like I said, I still want Tank and Shakur. I want that fight, man. I think that's the best fight, one of the best fights to be made in boxing, and I want that fight to happen. And I think that if Shakur moves to 140, then that fight, it could still happen, but the chances are even slimmer now, right? Especially if they don't each have a title. So just think about all the circumstances around the fight happening next. I'm cool with it because Shakur's coming off of a hand injury. And, you know, George Kambosos is moving up and kind of revitalizing his career at 140 and stuff like that. It's good. You know, they're both for Matchroom. It can happen. They can help facilitate that fight since they both were Matchroom, even though George Kambosos is more like a partnered agreement with another third party or something like that. But so I would like that fight to happen. It's exciting. Like Kambosos, people don't like Kambosos. I like Kambosos. You know, I don't like his take that he just made about Gladiator 2 in regards to Denzel. You got to chill out. But I like Kambosos. Do I think he's the best champion? Nah, but he was definitely a good champion. I think people are just disrespectful when it comes to champions. Was he the weakest champion at the time? Yeah, I think he was the weakest champion at 135, but that's not a bad thing. You know, you got guys like Tank, Haney, Shakur in the back of the division, and Lomachenko in that division back when he had the belt. You know, so there's no shame in being the weakest champion, but just because you're weak relative to others don't mean that you're weak in general. He's still the champion. So I think Kambosos will give Shakur a good fight, entertaining fight, but I think Shakur would win. But like I said, however, if it comes at the expense of him of Shakur's belt, then I don't think that's a justifiable sacrifice in my opinion. Pointless. He might as well get that smoke with Schofield without big. Yeah, something like that. I agree. I like that fight too. I think Shakur comes out on top on that one as well. But we know Kid Austin gonna make it interesting because see, like he fight like he retarded sometimes. Shout out to Kid Austin though. You know, sometimes he fight like he ain't got no gosh dang sense. So yeah, I'm cool with that fight too. There's a lot of good fights at 135 that aren't tanking Shakur. But you know, I've always been a dude that likes to unify. Man, I like unifications, man. And so any division where there's 4 different champions, like 147 with Stanionis. Stanionis is fighting his mandatory Shakram Giyashov, right? That just got called. But Mario Barrios just got off that fight against Abel Ramos, who got Stanionis versus Giyashov coming up. Just seen Boots, and who Boots just fought? Karen Chukazan for the second time, and we got Brian Norman, who should be recovering off a hand injury, gonna fight a voluntary mandatory, and Derek Cuevas, right, who was a top 10 guy, so that's not a bad defense for your first defense. I would like to see them unify at 147. I'd like to see Junto Nakatani at bantamweight 118 unify with Ryosuke Nishida, Yoshiki Takei, and Seiya Tsutsumi. And Junto Nakatani, they're all 4 undefeated champions, bro. All 4 of them are champions in the same division that are all undefeated. Go unify, man. Even with Bam Rodriguez, Fernando Puma Martinez, Fumaledi Cafu, and Bam Rodriguez, all undefeated champions at 115. Go unify, bro. There's one vacant title in the IBF because Fernando Martinez had 2 belts, but he relinquished one. He vacated the IBF in order to have his more lucrative rematch with Kazuto Ioka. So I understand that it's a business, but yeah, they gotta unify, man. Same with cruiserweight. Shout out to Zerto just beating CBS. Everybody talk about Jay Alpatai is the best at cruiserweight. How? He has 1 belt. And 2 if you want to give him the Ring Magazine belt, but the sanctioned bodies, he has 1 belt. 1 of the 4 belts. Gilberto now has 2 of the 4 belts. He has half of them. Yeah, he's ranked higher. I think Jay Alpatai is the best cruiserweight, but you got to go prove that, man. Go see what's up. What's happening? Go see what's happening with Noel McCallan. Go see what's happening with Zerto. You know what I'm saying? And same with Zerto. Go see what's happening with Jay Alpatai. And Noel McCallan, he don't seem like he want to fight nobody because he's supposed to fight Ryan Wozicki. He been ducking and dodging him. He said Jake by spinning KO. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. I'm about to get you out of here. Who said Jake by who? Deontay Wilder versus Jake Paul? He said Jake by spinning KO. Get out of here. Nah. See yourself out, Dub. Ain't no way you just disrespected my boy Wilder like that. Someone kick Dub out. Get out of here, bro. That's crazy. Canelo is Floyd's son. I know he's a ghostwriter for many rappers. Currently, he's fired by Hollywood. But highly weird extension because Dave wore a dress and said he wanted Diddy. No, Daylight be spitting. Yeah, Daylight be spitting though. Just weird. You're a weirdo. That sounds crazy. That sounds very crazy. Don't do my boy. He says stop. Don't do my boy. I know Wilder been looking bad, man. I hope Wilder retires because I don't want my boy out there looking bad, man. No disrespect to Zhang and no disrespect to Joseph Parker, but we all know that wasn't Deontay Wilder, man. And, you know, Wilder's 39 with 48, almost 50 fights, man. That's not Wilder, bro. He has a lot of ring mileage and he's up there in age. It's so funny. Like I said, we'll say Lomachenko was old, too old to get his bell rocked by Tank if he lose. But he could win, you know. Tap into that matrix mode. Lomachenko's a beast. But he's too old to fight Tank and Shakur. Meanwhile, he's 36 years old with only 21 fights. He's 18-3. And Deontay Wilder is 39. Older than Lomachenko with 48 fights. Almost over twice as many fights as Lomachenko. But no one says he's old. People want to see him get his head knocked off by other people. By Anthony Joshua. Get out of here, bro. That's too late, man. That fight was good a long time ago. Not so much now. I don't want to see that no more, man. Deontay Wilder is not Deontay Wilder. He's Deontay Wilder by name only. That's no disrespect to him. I like Deontay Wilder. One of my favorite fighters, man, for real. But I just don't want. I think he's in danger of getting seriously hurt. But hey, if you can do it and get money, get your money, man. Because if he fights, I'm gonna watch it for sure. I'm not saying like, oh, he doesn't. I'm not saying that in a disrespectful manner. I'm saying that from or disrespectful perspective. I'm saying that from a concerned perspective. But yeah, man. So that's all I want to talk about, man. Anybody want to join the Discord, man? Pull up. Feel free to pull up, man. I'm pretty much done. I said my piece in regards to the most recent boxing news. If you are not in the Discord, please join the Discord now, because if you ever want to join the show, and I'll put you up on the screen, you definitely needs to join early, because you cannot, when you join the Discord, you have to wait 10 minutes before you could talk. That doesn't mean forever, but when you first join, you know what I'm saying? So if you plan on calling in on a future show, just join now, so you don't have, so you can skip that waiting period. Because like I say, it's just a default setting that I put in to stop the trolls from just jumping in immediately and doing some troll stuff. Because, you know, trolls are impatient kids. Even if they're grown, they're still immature, impatient kids. And impatient people don't like to, you know, immature and impatient people don't like to wait for nothing. So that's just the way I keep them trolls out. You need to tap into his lives. One live he spoke about how to rate. Oh no, you talking about, man? I want to see Keyshawn and Sam Noakes. Hey, I'm not mad at that. There was a rumor, which I think has been debunked now, that Sam Noakes was getting burn check next, but that's not happening. That was a little incorrect rumor going around. So we'll see if Baranchik gets Keyshawn, or Keyshawn gets Baranchik, I should say, because Baranchik is a champion. So we'll see, man. If Keyshawn and Baranchik fight next, or hey, Keyshawn and Sam Noakes would be good too, you know. But I would like to see Keyshawn and Baranchik, and then it'll make that Keyshawn Davis call out of Gervonta Tank Davis a little more reasonable, right? You know what I'm saying? So I like it. But yeah, him versus Sam Noakes would be good. That'll be good, man. There's a lot of good fights out there, man, to be made. Excuse me. There's a lot of good fights besides the one that everybody talks about, or the ones that's not happening. But I am disappointed in Zepeda, man. I'm very disappointed in Zepeda. Like I said, it's not that I don't believe that he has a legitimate injury, but I don't believe it. It's not that I don't believe it, but I don't believe it. You know, I just don't believe the legitimacy of his injury. I told y'all that it wasn't gonna happen. People didn't believe it. Oh, but they said it's gonna happen in February, Doc. But they said, Doc, you know, they agreed, Doc. I said, bro, that fight's not happening, bro. It's not happening. Zepeda don't want that, bro. He don't want that pressure, man. And I wouldn't be mad at him if he wasn't calling him out consistently for months. He'd been calling him out all year, bro. Literally, bro. Since the Maxie Hughes fight, he called him out. Since the Giovanni Cabrera fight, he called him out. Like, bro, like, you calling him out and you not fighting him? No, bro. You can't do that, dog. You can't do that, bro. That shit weak. So, like I said, it's not that I don't think that his injury is legit. Maybe he does have an injury. But it's always something. Before he had an injury, now he has injury. Before he had a baby, before he had scheduling conflict, before his trainer didn't want it, before his promoter didn't want it. It's always something, bro. It's always something, man. So I'm not going. I think Zepeda, everything he comes out with from now on as why he's not fighting Shakur is nothing more than a. Every day that I am making I'm saying. Who else been saying that Shakur and Zepeda wasn't gonna happen, bro? There's a lot of people I be hearing about. Man, I feel like people be watching my channel, man. Show me some love and give me my credit, man. Don't be taking the stuff I be saying. I know them folks be tapping in. Motherfuckers actually hear what I say and go regurgitate it somewhere else. That's crazy, right? Shout out to those that be showing me the evidence. But yeah, man. There's other than that, man. Shout out to O'Shea Jones too. We saw her fight against Femke. I know I'm probably mispronouncing her name, man. Femke. She fought Clarissa Shields. I can't remember Hermans. Femke Hermans or Femke Hermans. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But yeah, that was a good fight, man. I thought the right person won. That was a close fight, though. You know, I don't know why O'Shea Jones thought it was gonna be easy. That's what she said. I don't know why she thought it was gonna be easy, but she was definitely wrong. But like a soldier does, even though she was wrong, she still overcame and put on for her city, you know what I'm saying, her gym and herself, you know. So shout out to O'Shea Jones, man, keeping her undefeated streak alive and doing good things, man. I wish her the best. Yeah. Wish her the best. Exactly. What my boy Ty said. My boy Ty said she's injured. Yeah. Well, I mean, he said he's injured. Yeah. But finna fight Abram Nova. Yeah. Or Josue Vargas next. Yeah. Facts. Yeah, he injured. Then Lomachenko come back out of retirement. He gonna fight him. That's the thing. I just can't go for that, bro. I can't go for. I think that's just weak, bro. And so when Shakur come out, you know, Shakur came out and called him what do you call him? Said him and Oscar are fake Mexicans. Because you know, like in regards to boxing, you know, I don't think he's saying it disrespectfully. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all our brethren and sister out there, black, Hispanic, Asian, white, in between. I think, you know, in the context of boxing, you know, Mexican style, they're supposed to be tough, like a tough Mexican and ready to fight anybody come forward. You know, that's the type of mentality you have. So he's saying that, yeah, man, from that standpoint, from a boxing standpoint, he's saying that Zepeda and Oscar are fake. You know, I mean, I don't know, man, but I do think that shit is very weak, man. I think it's one of the weakest things I've seen in boxing, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? When people duck each other, you could say Tank and Shakur are you can be mad because they're not fighting and somebody ducking. Even Lomachenko and Tank. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not giving Lomachenko no pass either. I want Lomachenko and Tank to fight too. But Lomachenko is contemplating retirement, so he said. Right? Lomachenko didn't say that and then came back and fought KAMBOSOS for a rematch. He didn't say that and then come back and fight Raymond Muratalla. He said that and he's not fighting. That's why I said that I'm refraining from really being too hard on Lomachenko. I think it's kind of weak, you know, because he's a champion. You said you want to unify, and all of a sudden you don't want to. But I'm not going to be too hard on you because it's not like he's saying this and not fighting and fighting other people. He's not fighting. Zepeda, this is the second time that he's done it. First time he called out Maxie after Maxie Hughes. Shakur obliged. He fought Gervonta Cabrera, which is cool. I was like, oh, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to get you prepared. Then he said he had a baby when him and Shakur were supposed to fight. He said he's not fighting because of his baby, so Shakur went and tried to fight Joe Cortina, and he hurt his hand. And Zepeda, before he even hurt his hand, around the same time he hurt his hand, he came out and said he's fighting KAMBOSOS or Tevin Farmer. In the same month in November, where he said he wasn't going to be available to fight because of his newborn child. You know, and then he fought Farmer. And then now after he fought Farmer and beat Farmer, and he didn't really look as good as people thought. You know, he got dropped in the, fourth round or fifth round. Now all of a sudden he hurt his hand. Get the fuck out of here, bro. He ain't hurt you. Man, get out of here, bro. Get out of here, bro. Why Chris out there hating? My guy, Richie said hating on him. Oh, Amanda Serrano? I don't think she's hating, bro. I think, like I said, if you pay attention to the whole story, like I talked about in my last stream, or stream before last, I think people, first of all, let me put this disclaimer. I'm not defending Clarissa Shields. I think that she's a beast of a fighter, one of the best. And, you know, I think she's the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Clarissa. But we got to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Right is right and wrong is wrong. What she was talking about to Cameron, who I think was really weak for disclosing and releasing DMs for likes, which I think is the lady of a nigga. You know, I think that's I ain't gonna say he's a hoe, but that's definitely hoe-ish. You know, but then I mean, you know, Paid in Full is one of my favorite movies, and he played Rico. And what do people say about him playing Rico? He was just acting like himself. So you know what I'm saying? Rico was a backstabbing snake in that movie too. So so yeah, you're releasing DMs is weak to me for likes. But he said a stat about women's boxing that wasn't true, and she just corrected him. It would have been hating to me if she would have corrected him in public and made some big deal. But she, let's be honest, we got to be fair. She did it the right way. She hit him in the DM and said, hey, man, you know, they're wrong about the views. Me and Savannah Marshall and I actually set the record for most viewership for a women boxing event because we were the main event. You know what I'm saying? Amanda and Katie Taylor, whoever else, weren't the main event. In this case, with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, it was Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. So it's disingenuous and very misleading to compare the views of an undercard fight to the views garnered by a fight that was the main event, was the main attraction. So that's not an even playing field. That's all she did was correct him. So whether you like Clarissa Shields or I like Clarissa Shields or dislike Clarissa Shields or, you know what I'm saying, a lover or a hater or whatever, right is right, wrong is wrong. They tried to kick it like she was hating. She was not hating. You know what I'm saying? Now, does she talk too much? To me, like, it kind of annoys me sometimes, yeah. But you got to understand, too, this is coming from a person who is constantly, consistently, frequently disrespected for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. Like, remember when ESPN and some other quote unquote worldwide leader of sports were talking about sports, and they said that the last gold medalist for Olympic boxing for America was Andre Ward, and that's not true. It's Clarissa Shields. Oh, she's a woman, so she don't count because she's a woman. Like, how you miss a gold medal? It's not like we're asking people to. It's not like she was asking or anybody was asking them to recall what happened in Game 62 of the NBA season on a Tuesday night. She won a gold medal, bro. The Olympics only happens once every 4 years. Everybody remembers people won a gold medal. How you skip that? You know what I'm saying? And then that was one time they disrespected her. And another time it was very, I even noticed this too before she even said something. And it's just sad that she has to say something. You know, we don't look at it from the right perspective. We should be more mad about the people that aren't putting out the proper information. They're talking about quotes in sports, like the women women masters of their sports, right? They mentioned Serena Williams in regards to tennis. Big salute. She's the GOAT. They mentioned Katie Ledecky in regards to swimming. Big salute. She's the GOAT. One time for the ladies, you know what I'm saying? They mentioned Simone Biles. She a beast on that pole. Pause, not the pole. The beam. She a beast on the pole. I made it sound like a stripper.
No, did it?
Hey, yo. My bad. No disrespect to the queen of the air, man. She be out there on the beams, man. My bad. On the beams, man. One time for the ladies. And they meant, like, I don't remember who they mentioned on track and field. I don't remember if it was Allison Felix or Shelly Ann Frazier. I don't think it was Shakari Richardson. But they mentioned somebody on track and field, right? A woman for the track and field. But they didn't mention Clarissa Shields for boxing. So it's just like, nah, bro. They do overlook that girl, man. Yes, she's sensitive, but I mean, she's a woman. You know, most not saying she's hyper. I'm not saying she's hypersensitive. Most humans are sensitive, but you know, women are a little sensitive too. You know, so a little more sensitive, and she got to stick up for herself because nobody's sticking up for her. So a lot of times when we see her on edge or whatever, correcting people, we got to realize that she does get disrespected and discredited quite a bit. Like, how are you gonna compare, you know, what her and Savannah Marshall did to somebody on the undercard of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? You know what's so funny about that? Like, people won't even give Jake Paul. It's Jake Paul's show. It's Most Valuable Promotions. He put it on, and he's fighting in the ring with Mike Tyson. And people said, oh, they sold out because of Mike Tyson. They didn't even give Jake Paul credit. So how you going to give people on the undercard, whether it's Katie Taylor, Man Serrano, Mario Barrios, Abel Ramos, Bruce Shushu Carrington, Dana Coolwell, who, no matter who it is, on how you going to give them credit for the viewership, but you don't even give Jake Paul, who shared the ring with him, credit. So it's just, like I said, people go out their way to try to make these illegitimate comparisons. And that's what she was saying. That's how I received it. Now, I'm not saying that she don't be hating on other things, you know what I'm saying? Or like I said, you constantly hear somebody talking and talking. It does seem it's not going to give you a positive impression, but at the same time, we cannot let what we are annoyed with or how people interpret or manipulate things, we can't let that overshadow the facts. And that's the facts is that she's right. She's right. You can't compare the viewership of a co-main with the viewership of something that main, because every ticket that was sold was bought for Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields. Every ticket that was sold wasn't bought for Serrano and Katie Taylor. It was bought for Mike and Jake Paul. Vasquez versus De Los Santos show who hit the canvas first type shit. Yeah, facts. Vasquez, yeah. What Vasquez you talking about, though? You talking about Edwin De Los Santos and Johan Vasquez? What Vasquez you talking about? Johan Vasquez? That'd be crazy. That'd be a good fight. I want to see Rayo try to get his get back against De Los Santos, too. That'd be good. Oh, man. I don't know if y'all talking about Johan Vasquez or not, though. But yeah, man. So there's been some good boxing, man. I think Big Turk is doing good, man. I don't know how people feel about Riyadh season and Big Turk. I love it. Now, if he does something that I don't agree with or I think is bad for boxing, then I will say that too. You know, but right now, as of now, how it sits, I think he's doing great for boxing, man. I think he's doing great, bro. It's either of the fights, if we keep it a G, both paydays was off Jake. Right, exactly. And I'm not trying to, but that's the thing. I'm not saying that to discredit, because that's still dope. You know what I'm saying? Because look, check this out. However many people were watching, 50 million, whatever the number was, that watched Katie Taylor Serrano, that's good for women's sports. And they could have clicked off and watched something else. I mean, not many people are going to do that because you're anticipating the main event. That's why it significantly and exponentially increases the viewership close to the main event. But I'm not discrediting that. But when you're going to make comparisons, you have to make valid comparisons. And that was an invalid, uneducated, damn near ignorant comparison. You know, it's like I said, it's like, I don't know, bro. It's like comparing a concert. It's like comparing a televised concert of Drake. No, let's not use Drake, because I don't, I didn't pick no sides and no beef. But let's say, like, who's a big artist, chat? I don't know who's a big Lil Uzi Vert. I was like, if Lil Uzi Vert, as big as he is, if he does a concert on a Tuesday, in Phoenix, and then Kendrick Lamar has a concert during the halftime of the Super Bowl, which one do you think is gonna get more viewership? So is that fair, knowing that the majority of people are watching already or are going to watch because it's a Super Bowl? Is that fair to compare that concert with the concert that was by itself on a Tuesday and that was a main event? Even if it was Kendrick Lamar in two places, you only had to make it two different artists. Kendrick Lamar in Arizona on a Tuesday, viewership and attendance compared to Kendrick Lamar viewership in the halftime of the Super Bowl. Which one do you think is going to be more? So yes, Mike Tyson is the iconic legend. Of course, he's going to garner a lot of viewership. Like, come on, bro. And anybody on the undercard is going to be a beneficiary of that. There's a lot of people that never saw Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington before that saw him because of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Same with Mario Barrios and Abel Ramos. Same with Kay Taylor and Master Ron. And that's a good thing. But you cannot turn around and compare that to something that was its own event entirely. That's just not an accurate comparison. Who here is a Xander fanboy? You don't like Xander Zayas? Had Ryo out there doing a stanky leg. Hey, you definitely had Ryo doing a stanky leg, boy. Del Santos definitely did. I think Xander's a nice up-and-coming young bull. I like him. He one of the reasons why 154 is hot and gonna stay hot, right? He's a young bull, you know. Xander Zayas, Charles Conwell, Jonas Tellis, Vito Milnicki, not so much, but he's still a young dude as well. I think he loses to those guys, but you know, he's at 154, up and coming contender. So 154, they're the future of 154, and then now 154, you know, you got Bud, Israel Madrimov, Serhiy Boachuk, who will be fighting soon, in the near future, imminent future, man, right around the corner next month. Who else? Jesus Ramos, who will be fighting against Rosario Banana. You got Jermell Charlo if he comes back. You got Errol Spence if he comes back. You got Spence. Fedora, you know, who might be fighting Spencer Nye as a champion. You know, there's so many people, bro. Bakram Murtazaliev, what he just did to Tim Tszyu. Hell, Tim Tszyu could still bounce back. You got Erickson, the Hammer Lubin. Bro, 154 is fire, bro. Like, it's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. 154 is fire. That hot. That's a hot division, man. So yeah, so definitely Xander Zayas is one of the young and upcoming boxers in 154-pound division. So yeah, did I say Virgil Ortiz? Yeah, I said Virgil Ortiz already too. So yeah, not to mention what if Boots go up there, which I think Boots should try to unify, but that's just my opinion. We got Smoochie in the building. Hey yo, chat, I think this is a year, chat. Yes sir, this is a year. This stream is a year, bro. This channel is a year old, man. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button like the notification says, man. Don't forget to like the video as well. We gonna keep going and growing, man. Turn up, man. And if you enjoy the content, check the pinned message. Do what it says now. If you enjoy the content, let me know by liking the video. You know what I'm saying? Consider becoming a member. Starting at $3 a month. You know what I'm saying? Some shout, some like. I know you a baller, ain't it? You a baller? Go ahead, hit that membership, man. Become a member and make it official for the Boxing Talk family. You know what I'm saying? Also, consider dropping a super chat like Karma did. You know what I'm saying? Karma came in here and threw a dub on my head top. Throwing money at me like I'm a stripper. Shout out to Karma. One time for the ladies. You know what I'm saying? Ladies out here, you know what I'm saying? Queens out here making you kings look bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Making it rain. Shout out to Karma. And also, consider becoming a member. Consider dropping the super chat or hitting the cash app, man. Keep us going and growing and keep the lights on and keeping food in my dog's bellies. But yeah, chat, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. Appreciate y'all rocking. I don't think I'm going to be back on later, so I'll see y'all for the morning show. Y'all know we stream Monday through Friday, twice a day. We got the morning show and the late show. The morning show is at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the late show is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, man, come rock with your boy Monday through Friday. And, of course, I stream every day. Yesterday I didn't stream. I had some stuff going on, but we're here now. So, you know what I'm talking about? He said, Canelo said, after Morrell versus Benavidez, there will also be amazing matchmaking. Besides, all the OGs will still got prospects coming up in the game. 168 also lit. You think 168 lit? I think 168 is one of the weaker divisions, to be honest. I think 168 is very top heavy. You know You know, 168, of course, you got Canelo and the rest because, you know, like you said, Benavidez and Morrell are gone. The two Davids are gone, right? So you got Canelo. You got Edgar Berlanga. Canelo already beat him. You got Caleb Plant. Canelo beat him. You got Jaime Munguia. Canelo already beat him. So I think it's top heavy. And of course, Canelo's at the tip top. But then you got the young up-and-coming mandatories and Diego Pacheco, who's a WBO mandatory, and Christian and Billy, who's a WBC and WBA mandatory, I think. Yeah. And then you got, of course, you got William Skull, the newly crowned champion for the IBF. So you got some hitters there. You got, of course, you got Edgar Berlanga, who I think is a little too excited about losing to Canelo. But hey, do your thing, brother. You know what I'm saying? Get that money. You know what I'm saying? I know you're excited about that paper, but if you want to convince me that you one of the beasts at 168 and you Canelo supposedly passed the torch to you, you too excited about a loss, player. I don't care who it was to. But yeah, Diego Pacheco, Christian and Billy, that'd be a good fight. Edgar Berlanga and Jamal Charlo, if he comes back, that's a good fight. Or Jamal Charlo versus Caleb Plant is a good fight. Or Caleb Plant versus Edgar Berlanga is a good fight. But I don't think it's too deep, though. I don't think it's too much depth at 168. I have to slightly disagree. But yeah, it still could be made. There's still interesting fights to be made at 168. I gotta say so for every division. But yeah, man, y'all about to go ahead and call it, man. Y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to smack that like button for me. Gonna do something for me. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold, we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.